Hi everyone, welcome back. It's Moa, aka Swedish Whiskey Girl, and happy Halloween! If you have been with the channel since last year, you know that I love dressing up and couldn't resist it this year either. And I've chosen a bit of a spooky whiskey, or at least one with a little bit of a story this time as well. So we're going to have a look at CuBocan Signature. It has been matured in Oloroso, ex-bourbon and North American virgin oak. CuBocan means ghost dog, and kind of has this tale of a ghost dog haunting the village of Tomatin, but it also could commemorate the last wolf in Scotland. And CuBocan is made at Tomatin Distillery, but it's their peated expression. So it is made with lightly peated barley, and it is made in batches every winter. And I believe this sits at, let's check, 46% ABV, it's non-chill filtered and natural colour. And they did a bit of a rebranding recently. So this is the new look of it. This video is not in collaboration with CuBocan, but this bottle was gifted as part of a collaboration that I did over on Instagram a while ago when I made a hot toddy ice cream with this whiskey. And if you want that recipe, check it out on Instagram. And I actually have another upcoming thing with them, but not with this whiskey, so really exciting. But let's start by having a look on the nose. I also should say, so this retails at 40%, and in case you were wondering what I am for this Halloween occasion, this year I decided to do a little vintage 50s twist on Morticia Addams, because she's wonderful. Getting a kind of damp grain barley note straight away on the nose. Quite grassy. And the peat is kind of hiding within the grassiness. But yeah, quite damp, kind of damp grass or damp barley or damp kind of barn-esque notes. And then a touch of a springtime smoke, I would say. Quite light and floral, more grassy than floral probably, but also some sweetness and almost like a charred fruits element. Well, let's have a little taste. Sláinte. For being quite springtimey on the nose, it's quite autumnal on the palate. It has a lovely sweetness to it that it's like a fruitiness that it's almost like pears and apples, but at the same time something super ripe citrusy as well. Yeah, citrus fruity. I don't get a lot of the smoke, but it's definitely there underneath. This is quite a juicy whiskey and I really like that. But it also has a note that is a bit, I don't know how to describe this, like kind of wet autumn leaves or that kind of wet wooden note, which I think is a smoke in combination with the other flavours. Because if you're trying Tomatin spirit, it's quite fruity and quite, almost to the extent that it's quite oily or viscous. This doesn't have that oily texture that I am a little bit hesitant towards. It still just feels quite juicy and fresh. But yeah, it does have that note which I would describe a little bit like a tiny bit odd. But it makes the dram really interesting, which I like. I think lightly peated whiskies have a tendency to be a bit odd when you don't really know what they're trying to be. But for the occasion right now, and for this whiskey, I think it works really well. That barley note, the fruitiness, the juicy tones, and just round off with something that is that's almost like it's not meant to be there, but it might just be because I'm used to tomatin when it doesn't have peat in it. So it's, yeah, a combination of those things that just, yeah, come together and make something lovely. I think after the palate, the nose changes slightly. It turns it a little bit more autumnal, with like almost like honey toasted grain or barley, quite sweet barley. Still a little bit of grassiness, but it's toned down and it's more like dry autumn leaves now, like a little bit earthy. The smoke itself is quite interesting. It has a tiny touch of a spiciness to it, but it's quite smooth. And almost a little bit like a coastal smoke, but just slightly. But more like in a bonfire, I think. The more I try this, I think the more I like it. It might just be because it's Halloween, it's raining, it is windy, it's dark, and this just suits that occasion so well. Almost has a touch of like a little bit of dry woodiness, which is also slightly sweet, which may have to do with the virgin oak. But then I'm trying to figure out what the spice is. I wonder if it's like almost a touch of like a chili spice, but very, very subtle. I'm really happy the texture isn't that oily, because it just means I can appreciate it so much more, just because of my personal preference. And yeah, if you like a little bit of a grassiness, a little bit of barley notes coming through, that kind of dry woodiness with a slight odd peaty notes, and then really juicy fruits, this definitely might be one for you. But let me know what you think of CuBocan. Have you tried CuBocan? Have you tried their old range? Have you tried their new range? What's your thoughts? Which one's your favourite? Let me know in the comment section here below. I of course hope you're having a lovely Halloween. I want to say thank you to my wonderful supporters on Patreon who are following along on my whiskey journey. And if you do want to support the channel, maybe consider leaving a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. Or if you want to support us further, I'll put my affiliate links to Master Malt, the Whiskey Exchange, and the Scotch Malt Whiskey Society here below. But yeah, let's continue having a spectacular day. But I'll see you in the next one.
Sláinte Skål.